welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch, episode 202.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two
crazy ketos. And if you're new to our channel, welcome.
Yes, welcome. If you're new here, say hi down below.
Now here on Two Crazy Ketos, we do different things like recipe videos and we do product reviews. We talk about various keto topics, and every Monday we go live on Keto Beyond the Couch because life exists beyond the couch.
You can find us in different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And we have a website, which is twocrazyketos.com, and that's where you're going to find all the different recipes. Now, we do upload at least 5 new videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe to our channel.
And don't forget to hit the little bell icon, and that way, every single time you're loved for just being you, you'll be alerted to it.
You look good today.
Thank you. Spoiler alert, you're loved. Just for being you. You're loved just for being you. I don't care what you eat today. I love you. Right where you're at right now. And same for you. Same for you, young man. Same for you, young lady. I love you. Right where you're at.
I know I'm going to be eating a lot of electrolytes because I'm severely deficient today.
You know what we're not deficient in?
What?
Barbecue. We had some good barbecue this weekend.
Yeah, we went, well, from Wednesday last week until we left early yesterday morning, Sunday. We went to the Florida RV Super Show.
We saw a lot of trailers.
We saw a lot of RVs. We're posting some walkthroughs of RVs over on our other channel, Two Crazy Campers. We spent the week with Chris and Megan.
Oh my goodness, it was nice.
Had so much fun, and we ate a lot of barbecue.
Delicious barbecue. And it was funny because the last night we were like getting together in our trailer. We're actually gonna you're gonna see an upcoming video of us interviewing Chris Miller
on the other channel.
On the other channel, because she really has a lot of good insight as someone who's gone through RV tech school as to like what you should be looking for or not looking for when you're purchasing something. I think that's super helpful. And yeah, so we sent Joe out for barbecue and he went to like 5 places, but every place was either not a barbecue joint or it was sold out.
These roadside stands that, like, that's barbecue. And one of them was Caribbean. One of them was like Mexican. Then there was, I don't know why, if you go onto Apple Maps or Google Maps and search Dickey's Barbecue, I searched local barbecue places. And Dickey's popped up. I'm like, okay, we'll get Dickey's. I know I can get meat by the pound there. And if you go on Google or Apple Maps and search Dickey's Barbecue in Florida, all these show up. None of them exist.
And they're not there.
They don't exist.
But what did exist was a little barbecue joint.
I don't even remember the name of it.
We knew it was good because they had sold out of most of the things that they sell with only like 5 more hours to go. That's when you know it's good.
So if you're in the Tampa area, it was called First Choice Barbecue.
Yeah. How funny is their little motto? Follow the smoke.
And it was really good.
Follow the barbecue smoke.
So I got there at like 5:30, and the only thing they had left was pork, chicken, and sausage. And boy, was that sausage good.
Oh my gosh, that sausage was like top shelf.
But I got 2 pounds of pork, 2 pounds of sausage, 2 pounds, a whole chicken, and then what else did I get? I got collard greens.
The chicken was a little dry.
But it was also later in the day.
But it was later in the day.
But the whole bill was like $60 for all of that meat. It was like, and it was really good.
I love that. And I also love these coffee mugs. Yes, they are giant.
Yep.
From Lori Henson, who I see is here in the chat. Love you,
So
girl.
anyway, on Saturday, we actually, instead of going to the RV show, we went to Busch Gardens with Chris and Megan. We had a great time walking around. It was overcast, but not cold, not hot, not rainy.
Joe had somebody, like a thrill-seeking roller coaster enthusiast.
Very different experience riding with Rachel and Chris.
I prayed the entire time. Right?
Rachel's like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness.
I narrate
Chris is laughing.
She laughs the entire time, but she really doesn't mind. There were some ones that I'm not brave enough yet.
There's only one that you would freak out on.
I have to like take my time. Do you do better jumping in with both feet if it comes to a ride of some sort? Or do you need to like slowly go in? So I tried 2 new rides this trip that I hadn't previously been on, and I'm glad I did. Yeah. I just couldn't take in the whole park at once.
The only thing that I would say to you, if you're a roller coaster enthusiast and you go to Busch Gardens in Tampa, Tigris is, it's a fun ride. It's really fun, but there's some moments in there where, because of the way it works, it's very quick. You're over in like 30 seconds. But like, you actually at one point shoot across the track hanging upside down for a good 5 seconds. You're just going across the track hanging upside down, and you're out of your seat, and the straps that come over you are the only thing that's holding you in.
So me and Megan watched Backpacks for a little bit, and I love getting to know Megan, and I was so thankful that there was somebody to sit with me on that park bench holding Joe's backpack while he enjoyed a ride, so he didn't have to sit it out.
So we did want to share one picture of you, and then we're going to get into
Look
Keto
at
Beyond
gorgeous
the Couch.
Chris. Look how cute she is. I love her so much. We had just such a blast with her and Megan. So fun.
But the
Good
thing
memories.
is, we were talking when we were there, like, this is life beyond the couch.
Yeah.
Because there was a time, like Chris and I were talking as we were going on to Iron Quasi, which was a really good fun ride, and I was more intimidated by the fact that it's a hybrid roller coaster, which means the entire thing is wooden frame, but it's a steel roller coaster. But it was one of the best rides I've been on.
Yeah.
The only thing that beats it, I think, is Velocicoaster.
But
We were talking about the fact
Yeah.
that we didn't have to get in that pre-seat to check ourselves.
what I was really thankful for was the opportunity, and it just kind of hit me like a wave. We were just walking through the park, and I remembered as we were traveling from one place to the other that there had been a roller coaster I had ridden on years ago, and I got stuck in it.
That was the old wooden one.
It was a wooden roller coaster, and I got stuck in it, and I had to have 3 people help me out of that coaster.
Yeah.
And it was a really hard moment. It was something that kept me from trying things for a while because I was very, very embarrassed by it. And I was really thankful to be in community in that moment. I was surrounded by Chris and Megan and Joe, and they were there, and I can be like, okay, now I have a new day at this park. That didn't have to be my last day. That didn't have to be the end of my story. And I was really thankful for community in that moment.
So let's get into Keto Beyond the Couch. If you are new here, Keto Beyond the Couch is all about subscribers. We love to celebrate wins, answer questions over the last week that we found on Facebook, on our Mighty Networks, as well as from last week's Keto Beyond the Couch. If you're in the chat, we kind of address the chat towards the last 10 to 15 minutes, so hold off your questions for us till then. Or if you want to talk about something right away, go ahead and use the super chat function. That is the $ down below. That's in the chat box, and that highlights our screen. It also helps benefit the channel. We don't get to a lot of the chat in Keto Beyond the Couch, but we do live stream again on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and this week we should, hopefully internet works and everything, but we should have special guests because we're going to be hanging out with Chris and Miriam this week.
From Keto Chow.
So that'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, so hold off your stuff to the end unless you use the super chat function. But we really do like to celebrate subscribers. And again, things come from Mighty Networks and Facebook. We encourage you guys, be a part of our community. Community is everything.
Get
it's
involved.
The most important thing to us. We're very active in our Mighty Networks group. There's just amazing people in there. But I see a lot of things in the chat popping up. So let's talk about the Low-Carb Living Summit. I just want to go La Vida Loca, right?
I know. There's something about it. Also, that font makes me think of the old show Love American Style.
Oh, yeah.
Did anybody watch that show? I flippin' love that show, but that's what that reminds me of for some reason. But yeah, we're so excited to be a part of that. We're actually
Chris
going
is
to
like,
be...
you just say I had to come on. You don't have to come on.
No, you have to.
I figure you want to.
You have to. They're too pretty not to bring on, right? We got to show everybody those beautiful faces. But yeah, Low Carb Living Summit starts today. It's a free event.
So I wanted to touch on that. So because I saw some people commenting. So our presentation is on at 3:00. We will be active in the chat at 3:00. Whoever is presenting, they will be active in the chat box during that time. So our chat box will be open for an hour. We're going to be on at 3:00, and basically we interview each other.
Yeah,
it was a fun thing.
It was fun.
But what we wanted to talk about is there's 2 ways you can do the Low Carb Living Summit. You've got people like Dr. Barry going to be there, Maria Emmerich, Benazati, lots of different people are going to be on there talking about a lot of different things. But there's 2 ways you can watch it. One is free, and that's completely fine, perfectly free. There's a free link down below, and that will allow you to watch it as it's going on, and I think for up to 2 days after the event. Then they have a VIP ticket. One is 67, one is 97. That allows you to download them, listen to them as a podcast. You get forever access to it. And they also come with lots of extra goodies like a 4-week meal plan, a workout plan, ebooks from like Maria Emmerich, stuff from Ben Azadi. So all kinds of different things. All those links are down below for it. But again, I think it may even be starting now. I don't remember what time it starts. I just know we come on at 3 o'clock today.
But we will be on, and it's 3 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
Yes. I saw someone ask if it was Eastern.
Yep. So you ready? Let's get into Keto Beyond the Couch. We're
Sure
going to
thing.
start off with our Keto College Adjunct Professor of the Week. This was an inspirational post that I found over on Facebook in our group. And it is from Stacy.
Hi, Stacy.
It was this meme that said, you cannot go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending.
That is so stinking true, and thank you for that reminder. And I was reminded of that personally when we went through Busch Gardens. Like, you know, maybe you have a place in your life where you're like, man, I have some bad memories from that park or, you know, from trying that activity. Don't let that be the last word in canoeing. You know, our canoeing now, when we try to do things like canoe or ride a bicycle, very different than years ago, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be the ending of your story.
Yep. Now, we do have another one I found. It's kind of inspirational, but not inspirational, but I thought it was important to put on.
What is that?
Well, a lot of people have been talking about prices are going up.
Yeah.
And prices are going up on everything. But I'm seeing a lot of comments like, you can't do beef, butter, bacon, egg anymore because the egg prices are going up and beef prices are going up. And I saw this, and I just wanted us to use this and kind of recenter and refocus ourselves.
All right.
It was from Mary. It said, sad but true. Our unfortunate reality is most people think $5 is too much to spend on a dozen local pasteurized eggs.
Yeah.
Yet find no problem spending $5 on their daily sugar-filled mocha drinks served to them in a paper cup.
That is so honest, isn't it? I mean, we have money, and we've said that many times, we have money for what we want to have money for. Now, I'm not saying like, well, I want to have $1 billion for a house. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the normal purchases. You know, when we were walking around the Tampa RV show, there were a lot of just superfluous junk food there, right? Mm-hmm. There was just stuff that was just junky, kind of like fair food. You know, there were...
It is the Florida Fairground.
Right. And I mean, there were things that we were able to purchase and enjoy. Like we had some delicious chicken on a stick.
And it was chicken thighs.
It was really delicious, but there was a lot of garbage. And I could honestly say, even before keto, I knew that that didn't mean nutrition. I knew that like, there's nothing in like a snow cone that's going to be like, oh, hydration. And like, I'm going to feel so good after this. But there were people in line purchasing it. In fact, there were long lines for a lot of junk food purchasing it. So, you know, you're right. And it wasn't cheap. It was like more than $5. In fact, a bottle of water was like $5. So it was way more money.
We wanted to actually, there was this, what was it? I forgot the name of the burger place. Chris might put it in.
It was a great, their motto.
It's a pretty well-known chain.
Right.
But
I liked their little.
They had a burger it was a half-pound burger. It looked delicious. It smelled delicious. It was $22.
Yeah.
Their line was ridiculously long. And I almost bought it, except for I'm like, $22. They gave you a mound of fries. I mean, you got a lot of food, but I'm like, okay, I'm spending $22 and the only thing I'm getting is a half-pound burger. I got to throw out the fries, the bread, and all that other stuff. So we decided to like not buy it.
But it's funny, even in that moment, we had food in the trailer. We prepped for the whole week, right? There was food I could eat in the trailer. Yep. But, you know, you're thinking to yourself, do I want fun extras? And if we did, we would have made room in the budget for that. Yep. So if we can find room in the budget for fun stuff, we can absolutely find room in the budget for decent eggs.
Now, if you're curious what we did eat while we were there, lots of carnivore chips, like carnivore snacks, but ours. Lots of meat sticks. The keto chow core pudding, like, oh my gosh, that stuff is amazing.
You have to make a separate video on
that. We brought lazy engineered beef that I retort canned, so we didn't have to refrigerate it. So that's the kind of stuff that we had. So I saw this quick question. I just wanted to put it up there from C. Kim First Mom.
Hi.
Do y'all have a video that explains the basics of keto chow? I've just learned about it from your videos, and I don't know where to start. We have a lot of videos on keto chow. Here's what I'm going to tell you. First of all, keto chow is a meal replacement drink, okay? It is not a snack. If you make it as ice cream, it means you get to eat ice cream as your food.
Right.
You can have it as part of your meal, but it is not like, hey, this is a snack kind of thing. It's intended to be a meal. So my personal opinion is your meal should be a minimum of 400 to 600 calories. So you need to add fat. What's great about keto chow is
you pick the fat.
you get to determine what the fat is and how much of it. So you can customize it for you. So if Rachel wants her meal to be 400 calories, she can eat 3 tablespoons of butter with her keto chow. And me, if I want mine to be 600, I can add in 5 tablespoons of butter and the keto chow and be roughly 600 calories. That's what's nice about it. It's customized for you. My firm belief is you should be using keto chow as a supplement for days where you're on the go. Like we were talking about Chris. She's like, sometimes I just don't have time for lunch and to cook and everything else. So I can grab a keto chow on your way out the door. It should not be your primary nutrition. We love keto chow. We work closely with them. It shouldn't be your only food. It should be one or maybe 2 meals of your food, but you should be focusing on meat. That's where you need to focus. Focus on meat.
But
the only reason to do 3 keto chows a day would be if you're having like gum issues,
dental
teeth
things,
issues,
surgery,
stuff like that. Because if you, I promise this, if you use keto chow and only drink 3 keto chows a day as your sole source of nutrition, which is possible but not recommended, 2 things. Number 1, I don't think you're getting enough protein, in my personal opinion. And number 2, as soon as you go off of it, you're probably going to gain all your weight back. You'll lose weight. I promise. You'll lose weight. But you'll probably gain it all back because you haven't dealt with your food issues yet.
Yeah, we've got to interact with food. But I will say that it makes the most delicious ice cream.
And it's a great way to eat a meal.
Of any keto ice cream I've ever had.
Yeah.
Ever. In the store, made at home. It just makes the best ice cream.
Now you can,
ever.
if you go ahead and message us, we can tell you more about keto chow.
We'd love to.
Send us an email at Joe or at Rachel at twocrazyketos.com. If you use the link down below, you get 10% off everything you order. And to tie into today's topic, should kids do keto? Keto chow's legal response is it is not designed for kids or nursing mothers.
But we don't manufacture it, so we can tell you what's the truth.
I will tell you that keto chow is perfectly fine for kids. Coming from Joe and Rachel, 2 people who are not doctors, nurses, or health professionals, but have been doing keto for over 5 years, have lost and maintained over 100 pounds apiece on keto. And I will tell you, it is great for kids. And if the government and all of the powers that be say that keto chow is not appropriate for kids, can you please explain to me why Dino Nuggets are? Right? Because they actually advertise that. Or Fruit Loops. I tell parents all the time, you're better off giving them a donut than Fruit Loops because it's the same thing.
Well, I don't even think you have to go that far. If you're giving your child Pediasure, if you're giving them Boost,
give them keto chow.
If you're giving them Glycerna, you're giving them one of those meal carnation instant breakfast, please consider switching that out for keto chow. And I understand
ingredients and vitamins and nutrients.
I get it. You want to give your kids breakfast and they just don't want to chew in the morning. They don't want to, it's much easier and more successful to give them a drink in the morning. Consider keto chow. Yep. It's much better.
Let's move into our Keto College Adjunct Professor of the Week. This was a success story we found online. We ask you guys, please share your story. It's so important that you share your story. It does 2 things. Number 1, it reminds you of where you came from.
Sure does.
And number 2, it helps somebody else because there's somebody out there going through what you went through and they think they're alone. And when you share your story, they realize they're not and they realize, I can do this. And I only found 1 story this week, so please share your story.
Oh my gracious. Well, it's going to be a good one though.
Yep. This one is from Edward.
Hi, Edward.
2.5 years on keto. Thank you, Lord. You ready for this?
Yes. Oh my gracious, Edward and your gorgeous wife. Look at that, dancing into the future. Paradise is right, dude. Like, that is amazing. And you think about, like, on both pictures, they're enjoying time together as a couple, which is so precious. But I think about when I see pictures of us, the picture of us canoeing. And now I see us, canoeing or doing some sort of sport together. We loved being married in both sides, the before and the after. I love this man, but boy, did we feel different when we spent time together. We're able to, like they're doing, dance later in the evening, right? Be up, be well. Every single day of this RV show that we went to, I felt energized every morning.
Yep.
No matter.
We walked miles and miles.
I felt great, right? Yeah, there was a couple like 10-mile days. I felt fantastic. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed our time together, and I think that that's really important. So congratulations to you guys. You look fantastic.
Let's go ahead and take a quick fade to black for a commercial and then come back with the chat.
Happy Monday. It's Monday.
It is.
I love Mondays.
So, reminder, a couple things. So again, like we said, the Low Carb Living Summit, which is a virtual summit that's going on today. Some things coming up to think about. KetoCon.
Yes.
It's in Austin, Texas in April. There's a link down below. If you use the code 2crazyketos, you get $50 off. It's going up again. So I'm telling you, you're getting close to the top up price at $300. Also, we have the low carb cruise. If you're interested in going on a cruise, we will be on that as well. Speaking on that, that is the first week of June.
But you don't even have to wait until then. You could see us in February. We could hang out in February if you want.
In Utah?
Utah. Let's do it. Let's get together, meet up. There's going to be food there.
Yes.
There's going to be a potluck, I believe.
Couple more things. So the tickets are not on sale yet. Once they go on sale, we will post all the links. But Bronson, Dan, and Natalie, they are going to be running a conference in Maryland, and we are going to be emceeing that.
I am so excited.
So, he announced it the other day. That
Brand
is
new.
in the middle of July in Maryland. So more to come. I think the tickets go on sale like mid-February for that.
I want to go to the Smithsonian. Will we be around DC?
We'll see.
Since we're in that area. I love museums. Do you love museums? I absolutely love museums.
Following that, you're going to have the Hard to Kill Summit, which the tickets have not gone on sale, but we will be that. That's the last week of July. And then now, I left the link down below, the Keto Orlando Summit, very first weekend of August. If you use the code 2KK, you get 10% off. And you also will get, that will also give you 10% off if you buy the VIP tickets. So we will be there. And then, of course, Keto Palooza in September. And anything else that pops up yet. But those are the ones that we all know about.
Thank you so much to Chris Bear, who's posting in the chat the link to lowcarbevents.com. If you're ever interested in something that we're attending or something that may be in your area, make sure you're checking in with that because it's updating all the time.
And all the conferences, like if you go to Low Carb Events and find one, if we're going to be there, there's usually some kind of a code for you to save some money on it. And the code is always either going to be 2KK or 2crazyketos. So just always try those codes. That's pretty much our codes with anything. Always first try 2crazyketos, and then after that, try 2KK.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. First comment from last week is from Alta.
Hey, Alta.
Thanks for making content that is attainable and personal to each of our needs. Even though this isn't my first time doing keto, I'm still learning. I'm never hungry. I tend to not eat enough to properly fuel my body. Following 2KK has given me permission to eat without guilt. In the last couple days, I've experienced what it feels like to be full for the first time. I'm looking forward to the rest of my journey and healing that will result from applying all that I am learning.
Wow, what a high compliment. I can't think of anything better than somebody saying that they just feel grace to go through their journey individually, and then also on top of that to finally feel full, to have that reward. I know that was something that was so stinking important to me. I had never felt that before. I didn't feel safe to feel that before. And so I'm so thankful that you've experienced that. Thank you for letting us know.
Next one from Pearl.
Hey, Pearl. From the hour and 10 minutes till the end, I really appreciate what you guys had to say about thoughtfulness and respect in commentaries. It's really a mature attitude to say, hey, if you want to say something negative, email me directly. Don't risk hurting the new person that's trying to learn. Don't rob from them potential growth and success from what's being presented. Too many people are entitled and have a self-righteous, self-importance vanity about themselves, but you guys have learned to be humble, to let meanness roll off your backs and use the power of your tongue through healing and strength, rather than death and destruction. You really hit the nail on the head when you expressed how people needed to see normal, everyday people incorporate the information from the professionals who teach. You teach and support by example, and you are vulnerable, you're open, you're honest. no guile in your attitudes or disposition. I thank God very much for that. Pearl, we thank God very much for you and for everybody that has shown kindness and grace toward us. We know we get things wrong. We make mistakes. We have failures in our technology and in our presentation. Sometimes we act the fool, and we get on your nerves.
This is who we are.
That's just who we are, and we love you right where you're at. And boy, we really appreciate the fact that you love us right where we're at, and that grace, we feel it, and we understand that we can frustrate people. And I also know that, other people will do things differently than we do it. And we really pray that if you're part of the Two Crazy Ketos family, that the motto for your life is be kinder than what is necessary. And even when somebody is wrong, that you're like, you know what? I don't need to tell them that. I just don't need to say every single thing I'm thinking, because a lot of times it just can really, undermine that person, or, maybe like you're saying, block somebody from getting information.
Yeah. To reiterate from last week, if you didn't see last week, we said, if you have a negative comment, email it to us directly.
Yeah,
Don't put it on
absolutely.
YouTube or anything like that, because all you're going to do is hurt somebody. You don't like the way we eat? Fine. Keep it to yourself or email us directly.
Yeah.
Nobody is perfect. Anybody who thinks they're perfect is either misinformed or they are self-righteous, one or the other.
Yeah.
And so it's really important to us. We are blessed that, yes, we get negative comments, but not nearly as many as some people get. You guys are really awesome in that aspect. And we tend to not delete things, but if somebody puts something in there that we feel is going to hurt somebody or derail them, we will delete that. But other than that, we just ignore it.
Yeah.
So thank you guys,
Thank you.
everybody. Next one is from Kat.
Hey, Kat.
People can be jerks. You two have successfully changed your lives with this proper way of eating. You also provide a safe space, education for people to make better choices and change others' lives. You guys are experts compared to people, I don't know about that,
Aww.
new to keto carnivore, though you aren't doctors, nurses, or health professionals. You've helped me on my journey, so thank you.
Thank you, Kat. You've helped me on my journey. And that's the thing, we're in this together, and I'm so thankful that, as we learn new things, and I feel like every year, aren't you learning something new that you didn't know? I feel like the more we go on this keto journey, even when it comes to, like, let's just say meat. There's a lot on meat. I learn more and more what benefits me, what works for me, how I like to prepare things. I mean, you're just constantly learning new things. I'm thankful for a safe place where we can learn stuff together.
So I did want to address this one. I don't know, I lost it. But it was Christina. Okay, here it is. Is it true that coffee contains mold, any mold? It can. Do I worry about it? No. Coffee is also a very heavily sprayed plant. And so if you can, I would try to consume organic coffee. Do we always consume organic coffee? No, because we drink a lot of it, and you're
Sometimes
not going to
we
get
get the-
organic coffee when
the
you go
cheap
out
stuff.
to the store and stuff like that. But here's the thing. That is where don't focus on trying to be perfect. Guess what? Cheese contains mold.
Yeah.
It is mold,
Yeah.
right? So penicillin is mold. Me personally think it's okay to have some of these things because I think it helps us. I've talked about this before. My thing is, I'm curious to see what's going to happen to the little kids who've been growing up in the last 2 or 3 years. Where is their immune system going to be years down the line? Because since COVID, we have been dousing everybody with so much alcohol and sanitary stuff that they're not being exposed to germs. And being exposed to germs is one of the things that helps our immune system. Mold can help us if it's the right kind of mold. You don't want to inhale mold.
My mom will joke. She was so, like, trying to keep me away from every type of germ that, like, she boiled everything, all my toys. Like, she boiled all of my eating utensils until I was like 6 years old. I was constantly sick. I was never not sick because I think that there was, like, very minimal exposure to germs. And I understand it sounds like, okay, I want a clean space, but I was not like in the dirt,
Yeah.
right? Like it's so funny.
Here's what I want you to take away from this. We talk about this all the time. 90% is good enough.
Yeah.
Okay? 90% is good enough. You're never going to be perfect. Major in the majors and minor in the minors. So look at the bigger things. Are we going to be more concerned about the sugar and the carbs and the overly processed food we put in our body? Or are we going to be concerned that there may be a little bit mold on the cup of coffee that we're drinking? It's not going to hurt us nearly as much. A guy I do lacrosse with, when he is training new officials and he talks about, hey, flag this, don't flag this. He's got a great saying and I love it. And I'll modify it a little bit, but he says, don't try to pick pepper off of poop. But he doesn't use the word poop.
Okay, well, I'm glad you do.
You know, but like, do you understand what that means? Like
Yeah.
that little tiny pepper flake, don't try to pick that out.
Yeah.
Like, let's look at the overall picture.
Right.
Okay. Next one we have is from Mary V.
Marivi?
Sorry.
I just had a frustrating chat with a woman who has had bariatric surgery. She has started eating Fruit Loops, potato chips, cookies, etc., which she keeps in the house because her kids deserve a treat. She ripped into me when I said it would be healthier for everyone if she got rid of all the junk. Her response, I am not going to deprive my kids. She is setting her kids up for the same struggles in life that she has had. Kids do not deserve to be fed junk. That's hard. That's a hard conversation because, sometimes, you really want to help. That's the desire of your heart, is to help. And sometimes it's just not received. The one thing that I've learned is I kind of follow up things with, am I invited into this? Are you inviting me into, your grocery experience? Am I invited into this question, your life? Because sometimes people kind of approach like, hey, what do you think about this? But am I truly invited into this conversation? Because I'm going to tell you how I really feel. But if I'm not invited into it, then you're probably going to get a lot of pushback, right?
Now, on the other side of this is kind of what led to today's topic. Should kids do keto? Is keto safe for kids? The very short answer is yes.
Right. It's whole food.
It's whole food.
It's actual food.
Kids should. Who says that kids should be eating Frosted Flakes and Fruit Loops and jelly donuts? Corporate America, right?
Yeah.
The food industry. It's not food. It's treats. And there is no reason that our children shouldn't be eating more of a proper human diet. Now, can they eat a little bit more fruit than you and I who have messed up our metabolism and have gone up and down in weight and have severe metabolic dysfunction? Absolutely. They can. Should they be drinking glasses and glasses of orange juice and apple juice? No, you're better off giving them soda than orange juice because there's more sugar in the orange juice. But they can have a little bit more fruit, but should they be eating all of the processed garbage? No. The only person who thinks that is us because we think we're depriving them.
Right.
But we're really hurting them by doing that.
I think that this can go all the way back to how we opened Keto on the Couch or Beyond the Couch today. And that is, you're loved right now, right where you're at. A lot of times we are trying to reward our kids, love our kids, give our kids a great childhood. There is no better gift that you can give your child other than your time. You lavish those kids with sweet moments spent together. Whether you are, Chris and Megan were talking about different card tournaments and games that they've played as a family. Those moments of you building a Lego tower with your kids or taking them to the park, going fishing, having experiences, having a fort in the living room, that does something for your children that Fruit Loops has no hope of ever touching. That, right? Like that is what your kids want. They want your time, they want your attention, and you are enough to sweeten their life. So don't think that my kids are stuck with me as a mom or a dad or a grandparent, and so I need to kind of take the edge off of the fact that they're not blessed with the coolest mom around the block. So let me give them a Capri Sun. That Capri Sun does not touch you. Yeah. You are the best thing that you can give your kids.
And again, people will ask me, well, what do I do? Just stop buying it. Like our friend Abby, Her best thing was when she was bringing her kids over to keto and carnivore, oops, I forgot to buy the Oreos. That's how she transitioned in. Now, does that mean that your kids will never get sugar? No. Dr. Barry's talked about if Beckett goes to a party or something, he may experience a piece of cake, but most of the time, he's not. Yeah. At home, he's not. So now it truly becomes a treat when you go out. The bottom line is you're the parent. Your kids, unless they're over the age of 16 and have a job and a car, shouldn't have a decision on what they eat. You're the parent. So, rant over. Next one is from Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth. Wouldn't different sized people need a different amount of protein? Example, 6'3" man versus a 5' woman?
Absolutely. So we all need different protein amounts. A lot of it's also going to depend on how old are we? Are we working out? Like, how physical are we? All of that stuff. The older you get, you actually need more protein to help preserve your muscle, but you also need to be moving. Otherwise, your muscle is going to go away, and that's where we end up with broken hips and everything else as we get older. But we talked about last week a minimum. And for everybody, a minimum would be 80 to 100 grams. Anything under that, and you're starting to risk problems. It's going to be difficult to overeat protein. As far as like hurting your body, but you can definitely hurt your body by under eating protein. So make sure you're getting enough protein.
And just a reminder that protein fills you up in the meal and the fat satiates you between meals. Don't try to do one without the other. You need them both. It's okay to have both protein and fat. I see a lot of times people are upping protein, making sure that they get a lot of protein, but they're trying to get as little fat as humanly possible. And you feel miserable during the day. When you are trying to white knuckle it, it really almost feels no different between meals than when I was in like my rice cake days.
And then your body's going to slow down metabolism because you're not giving enough fuel.
Exactly.
Miss Perfectly Imperfect Keto has a perfect. My family has been a keto along with me for 4 years. I couldn't do better for myself and then leave my family behind. Gotta go forward as a team.
Wow, that
awesome. Says everything.
It really does. And here's the thing, you make accommodations for needs that you realize have sprung up. If you had a child, like we had Anthony who had a speech impediment. So it wasn't part of the family schedule to incorporate speech therapy or to have like extracurricular activities now that had to do with speech therapy. But you know what? There was a need that arose and our family made it work based on the need. It's a change, yes, but we saw that it was a necessary change. So maybe we have to move around things in order to make it work. So I understand the moment that you wake up and you're like, man, this sugar is poison to my children, you realize I'm going to have to make some changes that's not going to be comfortable for the family. The kids aren't going to like it. Anthony wasn't like, yay, I can't wait to go to speech therapy. But we knew he needed it. And therefore, that's why we're going to start doing it. And after a while, it was hard at first, like anything new is hard at first, right? But once we got started, everybody realized the benefits from it. And when he started speaking differently, when he was able to feel more confident when he gave presentations at school, he would look back then and be like, oh, okay, sorry that I argued, sorry that I made it difficult on you for us to do this. So again, it's hard when you start, but it's rewarding and it can be done.
Yep. Next one we have is from Brooks Grammy.
Hey, Brooks Grammy.
Dang it. I couldn't make it this morning. I wanted to have you two sing happy birthday to me because it's smart. It's last Tuesday.
Okay.
My dad was an alcoholic and a smoker, and he said quitting smoking was harder than quitting drinking. I quit 5 years ago next month. Finally. It took me at least a dozen tries. I gained 60 pounds that year. 2 years later, I started carnivore. Sugar was way easier to give up compared to cigarettes.
Thanks for kind of like backing up that statement because, yeah, I mean, there's just a lot going on. For me, the hardest thing to kick for me has been biting my nails. Biting my nails, it continues to be a challenge. If I do not put like tips on, I am right back at it because it's just a lot of things. It's something you do nervously. It's something, it's like a go-to moment thing for me. And it's a hand to mouth thing. So it's like to stop it, what am I going to do? Cut my hands off? Like it's very, very challenging.
You want to sing to her real quick, even though it's
sure.
belated?
And it is Brooks Grammy.
Yep.
Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Brooks Grammy. Happy birthday to you and many more.
We'll be right back.
So many more.
Next one is from Christina.
Hey, Christina. Hi, everyone. I've been trying to dehydrate meat. My LG oven doesn't adjust the temperature to 170 on convection. I'm going to use the bake setting at 170 to dehydrate the meat. Question mark? Has anyone tried this method with success?
Yes, it will work. 170 degrees. Actually, I think you're better off. If you go 170 degrees on convection, you're closer to 200 because the convection will rotate the heat around. But when we did it in our video and we use the oven, I'm not using convection. I'm using a standard oven at 170 degrees. When you put it in the dehydrator, you're at 167, and that is blowing air around. So 170 degrees, as thin as you can with the meat, will give you the perfect carnivore chips.
So crunchy.
Next one is from Hank.
Hey, Hank, my blood sugar is driving me crazy. Last night it was 96. I had one meal today at 7:30, which consisted of 2 eggs, 4 sausage patties, and a little shredded cheese. It's now 12 hours later, and my blood sugar is 124. I've been keto and carnivore for several years, and this is what I'm always dealing with. My blood sugar levels at random times make no sense. I also don't lose weight.
Okay, so we are not doctors, nurses, or health professionals, but I'm going to tell you what I think is going on. Barring any other medical issues that maybe you've been informed of with a doctor, but most likely, you're not eating enough food. First of all, 2 eggs and 4 sausage patties with a little bit of shredded cheese, and that was all you ate, and then 12 hours later, your blood sugar, if that would not have caused your blood sugar to go up, and if your blood sugar went up from that meal and didn't come down, I would start looking into type 1 diabetes, because that means that you're not releasing any insulin at all, because your blood sugar should come back to normal within 2 hours. But nothing in there, unless there's a tremendous amount of sugar in there in the sausage, should elevate your blood sugar much, maybe a couple of points, like with the cheese and stuff. But that is not enough food for pretty much anybody. We talked about this before. 2 eggs, 2 slices of bacon, that is not a meal. But then you're not eating for another 12 hours. You also had somewhere in some of your other posts on this same post that you're fasting for 48 to 72 hours. And if that's what you're eating, if you're fasting for 48 to 72 hours, when you stop fasting, you should be feasting. Like, you should be eating a couple of days worth of food. What happens is we don't give our body enough food, specifically if we don't give our body enough fat, our body, even if we have fat to lose, is going to create some glucose from our muscle, from fat we have consumed, like fatty acids, and from protein, because your body does need glucose. I know everybody wants to think your body needs no glucose. It does need about a teaspoon of sugar in its blood. But we don't have to eat it because it could make it. Randomly throughout the day, your body is going to create glucose when it thinks it needs it. If you're not eating enough food, especially on a regular basis, your body will just continually create glucose because it's afraid to burn off a lot of the fat you have. This really happens when you've been doing keto for a while. So when you first start keto, your body's like, freedom, no more carbohydrates.
Right.
It's learning fat. But when you've been doing keto for a long time, and this has been my experience, you really need to be making sure you're consuming enough fat, because otherwise your body will just start with the glucose. So that's why I found 5 years in, my glucose was always averaging in the 90s. As soon as I started consuming a little bit of fat, my glucose went down and I started losing weight again.
Yeah.
So it really comes down to
Same.
You're not eating enough food.
Yeah.
You know? Next one is from Chris.
Hey Chris, I don't post much, but I do watch everything they put online. I have a very hard time shopping for groceries. The reason is that I will buy treats for myself and eat them in the car on the way home. That was definitely me. And I would get rid of the evidence before I go to the house, sneak eating. I would tell myself that I deserved a treat. I think I found a way to help me with this horrible habit. Today, when I went to the store, I made sure I had my earbuds and I listened to the Two Crazy Ketos podcast. I didn't buy anything that would derail my keto way of life. So I will continue grocery shopping with Two Crazy Ketos, whispering in my ears. Sorry for the long post.
I put this in there because I knew that it would impact you. I wasn't trying to make you cry, but this is something you've dealt with, right? We've talked about, you've dealt with, go to the store, buy a bunch of burgers for everybody, and then 3 more for yourself on the way home.
I had never gone to a fast food restaurant without purchasing a meal that I ate on the way home in addition to what I was buying for my family. And I had a garbage can that I would stop by every single time to get rid of that evidence. And then I came home and honestly lied to my family like any addict and would act like I was famished, hungry. I can remember chewing some gum and swallowing it before I would come in to bring in like whatever we were eating because I thought they're gonna smell the extra meal on my breath. And it made you feel really low. It was really a burden to have to live like that. So that really spoke to me because I know where you're at and I know what a victory it is to be like, I got out of that grocery store, I got away from that restaurant, and I didn't buy anything that I didn't intend. It was not like on my list. And that is my prayer. If I can be whispering in your ear, you are loved and you do not need to do this, whatever it takes. That's what I hope you hear, is that you have what it takes not to continue, not just eating the sugar, but you have the ability to like break that behavior where you do not have to leave a grocery store, leave a restaurant, leave a fast food joint feeling defeated. And I pray that we can be that voice in your ear that's just whispering to you the truth of who you are, which is loved and precious.
I just want to say thank you because when we started our podcast, which sometimes we've gotten a little lazy with uploading them because just ridiculous schedules. But when we started the podcast, I remember us saying like, why are we doing this? Why are we starting like, we don't have time for something else. We're already uploading 5 videos a week. And every once in a while, we're like, maybe we should cut back and only do 1 or 2. But then it's a post like that and goes, okay, this is why we're doing this.
If one person hears
When we made the podcast and started it, and we have cut back to just 1 a week to make it more sustainable for us, our whole thing was, if there's one person that doesn't watch our videos but listens to a podcast and we can change their lives, we could be possibly changing a generation. So thank you.
Yeah.
So
appreciate that.
Next one is from Sheila.
Hey, Sheila.
Really need someone I can connect with to work out with, whether it be via phone or text or Zoom. I've looked on Meetup and no success. I want someone that I can relate to and connect with and become friends. I don't care if we create a group to do it. I just need a partner to be there for, and that's there for me. I've been diligently working on my health and my diet since February of 2018. I'm 100 pounds down and roughly 60 more to go, but more importantly, I need to gain strength to be more active as I'm aging. I'm 45 and I work from home, so I'm pretty sedentary.
Yeah.
Sheila, please get in. I know you put this on Facebook, but please get into Mighty Networks. I mean, both groups are great. Mighty Networks, there's people in there that maybe they don't spend a lot of time in Facebook. Some people shifted over because they don't like Facebook for one reason or another. But the thing that I like about Mighty Networks is there's people in there at 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
Like you go in there and post at 2 in the morning, I'm struggling. But I know if you go in there, Sheila, and this is for anybody, and post, I need a workout partner, I need an accountability partner, somebody will respond. And I look at like Rachel is really inspired by Sarah Gufferson.
Well, that was the first person that came to my mind when you said that. Get into Mighty Networks if you're needing an accountability partner for movement, for fitness, for getting in your steps every day. Partner with Sarah Gustafson. That woman will make movement happen every single day, and I mean a blizzard can happen, and somehow she is going to make it work. And she has been really putting concentrated effort into finding things to do during the winter because she's super active every other season of the year. And I mean, this woman has lost more than 200 pounds. She is incredible. She inspires me daily. But she figures it out. She makes it work.
She's the reason you finished scuba diving.
She's absolutely the reason why I finished scuba diving. So I would say reach out to her or others.
And there's lots of people. I look at Chris. When I found
Chris
out
Miller.
The amount of people that Chris is an accountability partner with.
It's staggering.
You just need to get in the group and make a post and keep commenting. Put it back to the top. Somebody will reach out, I promise you. That's one of the things that we love about our group. And that's what this is there for.
Yeah.
Is for that kind of thing. But yeah, so just somebody that can inspire you, whether it be through text or Zoom or stuff like that. There are a lot of people out there. So we encourage all of you, reach out if you need a partner. Get into the groups. Mighty Networks is free. Members.2krazyketos.com.
And let people know what general area. You don't need to give them the address to your house, but if you're hey, I live in Coconut Creek, Florida. Anybody in Coconut Creek, Florida, or anybody in the Tri-County area that might be interested in getting together to work out or do something or meet up, let me know. Because I know Sarah was even we were talking about how she was looking for local places, even in the library in her local area, to be hey, I'd love to find more keto people in my area and us go do activities together.
Yeah.
So share. Where's kind of what's local look like to you?
Yeah. It's really important that you have community. That's why it's so important to us. I'm so thankful. I mean, we were talking to Chris over the weekend. Do you know we have you have something called friends and you have acquaintances, right? Acquaintances, hey, I know who you are. Hi, how you doing? You see them at church, that kind of thing. We have zero friends outside of the keto community.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had sort of friends before, but they weren't people that we would necessarily rely on and we wanted to hang out with. First of all, we're very introverted people. I know that's hard to believe, but we are.
We are.
But if you look at our list of friends who we want to hang out with, they're all from within the keto community. I mean, Chris and Miriam coming in to hang out with us this week. We never went to a theme park with anybody other than a family member.
Right.
Like Rachel's mom or her brother or our kids or something like that.
Now we love going to fun parks.
In the last 2 weeks, we went to Universal Studios with a bunch of you guys. We went and hung out with Chris and Megan at Busch Gardens. And we're already planning on going to Disney with Chris and Megan. And we go with Anthony DiPetrillo. And I look at things it's fun doing this with other people.
It is.
Especially when we've all been in the same situation where there was a time where I couldn't fit in that seat.
Well, and it's nice because, again, the community is such a loving community because we've all come from a difficult, challenging place. And I think that we have grace for one another. And so it has really been worth coming out of our shell. And I hope that we can encourage you to come out of your shell too. That's why we're always saying, let's go to conferences together. Let's meet, because it is safe to make some friendships. Yep. You know, I mean, especially if you're like us and you've experienced a lot of rejection over the years. It's hard to put yourself out there, but I like that we can.
Next was from Linda.
Hey, Linda.
Eating carnivore allows me more time in my day for other things. When I went keto in April of 2020, I spent much time researching recipes, prepping foods, watching YouTubers, and eating the food. Now I eat nutrient-dense food, which takes less time to prep and eat. If I have a really busy day, I can eat all of my food at one meal, allowing me to finish eating earlier in the day, which helps me with my digestion. I'm still amazed at the way food is no longer calling to me. Looking forward to KetoCon in April. It's my first keto event.
We're so glad that you're going, Linda. And I would say I echo that. But here's the thing.
It doesn't have to be carnivore. Just keep your keto simple.
Keeping it simple. It's whole foods. It doesn't need to be complicated. I understand that you're going to check your Instagram feed and there is a billion recipes with all kinds of ingredients and all kinds of colors and it looks like super amazing. don't do that to yourself. You know, if you're trying to say like, I don't want my food constantly calling to me, then you need to get another number in your phone. You need to like have other things where you answer, right? Joy. You need to find, movement. You need to find friendship. You need to have other things to answer to. There was a lot of times in my life for decades, my best friend wasn't even this man. My best friend was food. So when food called, I answered every single time. They were part of my emergency contact list, right? It was like whatever was the junk, Reese's peanut butter cups, that was on line 1. He was line 2. I answered the food craving before I answered him as a friend. So I need to make some new friends, and it can't just be food, right? So like find other sources of joy, and then it will feel more natural to answer that other line.
Next one's from Cherie.
Hey, Cherie.
After looking at the element package, I can't find serving suggestions. I've been drinking 80 ounces of water with 4-6 of their electrolytes per day. Is it too much? It tastes so good and it helps drown out the taste of beef. I've not been a vegetarian, but I just don't like many meats.
Okay.
Listen to your body. If you are not having any negative effects from having 4 elements, have them. It's difficult to overdo electrolytes on keto because your body doesn't have a lot of glycogen
Got
stores.
a good amount of water there.
And so long as you're drinking fluids, the worst that's happening is you're peeing it all out.
Right.
That's what'll happen is so long as you're drinking enough fluid, which is one of the reasons we do like Element and Redmond Relight, is because you have to drink water with it. Your body will flush out any excess electrolytes that it doesn't need. If you're not taking enough electrolytes, though, your body will end up holding on to fluid and cease your weight loss. So I'd rather you have more electrolytes. Thank you.
Siri didn't get that.
I'd rather you have more electrolytes than not enough because your body will get rid of them. Now, for those of you who don't know, Element is a powdered electrolyte. I don't have any next to me. That you put into your water. They've got great flavors. Redmond Relight is another one. We have links for them both down below. With Redmond, we can get you 15% off with the code 2krazyketos. Next one is from Bonnie.
Hey, Bonnie, I've been so surprised that it really hasn't been that hard to pass up regular junk treats. I was given a lot of them for Christmas. I teach in a childcare center, and there's sometimes donuts for the staff, etc. I've heard YouTubers describe it as poison, and I know that it is that for me. I am determined not to become diabetic and to get rid of the pre-diabetic label as well. It did help that I made myself a couple batches of cookies during that time. Yay for the easy peanut butter cookies with added chocolate in the middle for some gingerbread keto chow cookies. They were so good that I didn't feel deprived. Thanks for all the help, recipes, and inspiration.
And this kind of comes into some of what we talk about today on our Low Carb Living Summit talk, and we did a presentation about this a couple of years ago. Is keto sustainable? I think keto is the most sustainable way of eating on the planet. Yeah. I really do. And I know people are going to disagree with me. Is it restrictive? All eating lifestyles are restrictive. If you're a vegan, you can't eat meat. Yeah. If you're a vegetarian, you don't eat meat other than maybe sometimes eggs and fish. If you're eating just a regular standard American diet, most of the time you got to restrict your fat. So every eating lifestyle has some type of restriction. With keto, we're restricting carbs, but there are a lot of substitutes. There's pretty much everything out there. You can make a keto alternative. Is it the same? No, but the longer you're away from the original stuff that you tried, the more it tastes like the original stuff. And it goes back to, can and should kids do keto? Yes. There's keto cookies and keto cakes and keto chocolates and keto shakes like keto chow that you are not depriving your children. Your children can still have all of the delicious treats that they had before, but without the sugar, and they get bacon on top of it.
You are depriving you're depriving your children of carb crash. You are depriving your children of future problems with diabetes. You are depriving your children of headaches and skin issues. Yes, you're depriving your children. I want to say chicken so bad. you're depriving them. Yes, they will have an experience that other children in their classes won't have. They'll be able to concentrate. They'll have clarity. They'll have energy that lasts throughout the day. They won't be exposed to the poisons of sugar. They won't have the other side of that. You are absolutely right. They will be deprived of what other children here in America are experiencing. Thank God.
Right.
Thank God. I want our grandchild completely deprived of all of those things.
Yep. Next one is from Sarah.
Hey, Sarah.
I was sitting down at one of the spinning wheels and I noticed that my thighs aren't touching
Yay!
anymore. Just barely. I can't even tell you the last time my thighs didn't touch. So I tried to cross my legs. Y'all, I'm about to cry happy tears.
I can cross my legs.
I'm sitting here with my legs crossed right now.
It is a
victory. The first time I was able to cross my legs, I was like, look. I think I was in church. I tapped over to Rachel. I'm like, look.
Yes, he did. He alerted me.
I can cross my legs.
That win needs to be shared. Because I can tell you, I mean, even going to a fun park this past week, the fact that I am not coming home like walking like I just got off of a horse is amazing because I was chafed every single time. Right? Like, because my thighs were always like, excuse me, pardon me. And like, I could light a fire in there. Like, seriously.
I can't even think of the last time that I got chafed. Right? And then even when Chris and I got on Sheikra at Busch Gardens, we sat down and I looked over and I joked and I'm like, I got 2 seatbelts. I call it the poop belt because it's like you got this bar that locks in and then there's a seatbelt just in case the bar goes away.
Wasn't it called like a comfort collar?
No, that's a different ride.
That was like an alarming
But
name.
we joke about Velocicos. Have you ever been to Universal Studios? Which is, I think, the most intense roller coaster on the planet. It's intense. But
Probably
there's
not
no poop belt. So this thing locks in over you and you're like, push it down as much as possible.
And
there's nothing that if that bar gives way that's holding you in.
Yeah.
And I looked down and I had 2 of them. Chris only had 1 and she's like, what's the deal with 2? And I'm like, this is the seat that I used to have to request. This is you're too heavy for any other seat.
So you need like an extender.
And I don't need it anymore, right?
High five.
So I love that.
Way to go.
We have one more from Debbie.
Hey, Debbie.
Sugar withdrawal lasts up to 6 weeks. Fungus needs sugar to grow and reproduce. A sugar-free diet will kill harmful fungi in your body and help you heal. Back to the whole mold issue. Normal symptoms of sugar withdrawal: lightheaded, craving sugar, anxious, depressed, sore head, moody, tired, achy.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
This is why the first week on keto sucks.
Sugar is so addictive. It sends so many confusing signals to your brain. Again, let's go back to our kids. Do you want your children to have to swim through all of that stuff? And I'm telling you, the first 2 weeks, that's why, I like sometimes to leverage like something like Christmas vacation or spring break or something and come back fresh. But like, don't wait until spring break to like get your kids off sugar. But, it is hard to wean off sugar. It is worth putting the hard work in to dig through those 2 weeks to get past it. But that was my experience.
Yep.
I had to live my sugar withdrawal in a bathtub. And it was just like, I was throwing up, terrible headaches. I couldn't sleep. I felt bad in my body. Everything hurt. My hair hurt as I was getting off of sugar. That is how addictive it is.
Yep. Let's jump into the chat real quick. I love this one. Diane.
Hey, Diane.
I have converted successfully to carbs from net carbs. Yes, please don't count net carbs. However, my goodness, how I miss my veggies. I looked at red pepper yesterday and I had to leave the room. Okay. Diane. So, yes, red peppers are much higher in sugar.
The good news, though.
But other vegetables, if you're eating meat and vegetables and you're not eating a lot of keto treats, don't worry about the carbs in your veggies. Now, red peppers, onions, tomatoes, that kind of stuff, we need to start looking at the carbs a little bit. You don't have to count them, but don't overdo it. Now remember, I said this, I think it was on Heath and Shelley's live stream the other day.
I think we are freezing.
No, we're good. It's fine.
Okay.
Do you know that peppers are actually fruits?
Yes, I had heard that
Yep,
before.
peppers are fruits. So think about that. If it's a fruit, think about it. Avocados are great. They do have carbs in them. So, but if you're only eating meat and veggies, I'm not worried about those carbs unless you're eating like high carb veggies. Like I love jalapeno poppers. You got to remember though, a jalapeno, every one has one carb. The sweeter it is, the more sugar it's going to have in there. Where you're really looking at your carbs is when you get into keto treats, whether you're buying them or you're making them yourself. That's where we have to worry. So if you're having a salad and you want to have, I don't know, a nut butter bar, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
It keeps spinning. We keep freezing.
Well,
I'm seeing it.
I'm not going to worry about it.
Sorry about
We're
that.
going to keep going. If you're having a Nola bar and that's the only thing you're having, you're good. But you want to follow total carbs so that you don't have 3 Nola bars in a day.
Yeah.
Okay? If we have to, we'll get off.
Yeah, because
we'll just keep going.
Just frozen.
But let's see.
Oh yeah, she's saying she's texted. We're buffering.
Well, it's not buffering now, so I'm going to keep going. Dawn, I agree.
Dawn.
You guys show so much kindness, and that's why I typically start my day listening to your channel. Kindness is a good way to start the day.
Well, you've added so much kindness to our day. Thank you. Yeah, it's bad.
Okay.
I think that's our cue.
I think that's the cue to get off. I'm sorry that we didn't get your chat, but we will be live on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, live from Orlando.
Can't wait to see ya.
Now, again, make sure you join us on the Low Carb Living Summit later on today at 3 p.m. Link down below for the free link. Have a good night, guys. Bye.
Love you.